what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film M3GAN 2.0. Now this is a sequel to 2022's M3GAN, and this is again directed by Gerard Johnstone, and this time you have like the robot, the humanoid robot M3GAN being rebuilt to combat a new like military threat, military type robot that is using like M3GAN's same technology to take over like AI. So that's basically what like the main plot of the film itself is about. But in that, I must admit, I thought this film was pretty entertaining. And I know it's not doing too well at like the box office. It has like flopped at the box office, so that's kind of like sad news for like M3GAN. But I must admit, I do believe that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is a better film than the original film, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe like just the pacing of it is much better or so, I don't know. But this time it really was focused mostly more on being like a science fiction type film. Whereas the first M3GAN had like a lot of like strong like horror elements, because M3GAN herself was like a killer doll basically. Whereas this time around they kind of have changed the story arc of her character. Now it's like the film is being similar to how they did with like the Terminator films. Like with the first Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger as the T-800, remember he was like the villain in the original film. But when it got to the second one, he was turned into like a good guy, you know, because he had to protect like John Connor. So whereas in this film, it kind of has that same story arc, whereas M3GAN no longer is like the main antagonist or like the killer robot of the film. She has been turned, it's like, I guess you could say, the heroine of the film, and she has to protect like the little girl like Katie, and also like her creator known as Gamma, because you know Gamma is played by Allison Williams. And the film does like show flashbacks to the original film, and it does show like what happened with like Gamma. You know how the public and the society was kind of turning against Gamma because she created like this robot that kind of turned like bad and was like a killer robot that killed people and caused like chaos and so on. So she was even locked up at one point, they were saying. But now it turns out that she's like living like her life. She's getting back to normal. She also has Katie there too with her as well, which is her niece, and you know she's played by Violet McGraw. Yeah, I think the same girl that played it like in the first M3GAN film. She's playing like her niece again, so they're both in the film together again. But like I said, there's this new threat shows up known as Amelia, and she's played by Ivana Sakno. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Ivana Sakno. She's played by her. And Amelia is actually like the antagonist of the film, and she's a cool looking robot. Now I must admit, she actually seems like more cooler than M3GAN, because she can turn her body all around and do all kind of stuff and everything. She's like very like cool, like the way they designed her. So I thought she was pretty cool, and there's like a twist with her too as well, but I won't spoil it. But I thought her role in the film was like very cool. It feels like very like Terminator like, almost like Terminator 3. Like she kind of seems very similar to that Terminator, the TX from Terminator 3. She kind of reminds me of her, like the one that Kirsten Loken played. She seems like very similar to that at times, you know. But other than that though, the film, it does have some awesome like action scenes, like whenever like Amelia's like fighting and stuff, like fighting like the heroes and stuff like that. The stuff she's doing is like very awesome. She can change her voice, you know, like the typical stuff that like, these like robots or like androids and stuff like that, because cyborgs can do like in films. It's like how those be. But even when like M3GAN shows up, because they have to rebuild M3GAN to actually take her on, like, so when M3GAN shows up and has to fight Amelia, even like some of their fight sequences is pretty cool. There's also like a dance number scene in the film too, where M3GAN is like dancing and like and all that kind of stuff like that. Like it's like this event where they're like showing like robots off. I think the stuff that like the robots can do or whatever. That moment was kind of funny. And there was also a moment where she was like singing again, but this time she was singing to Gamma, because remember in the first film she had like a singing sequence where she was singing to like Katie's, but this time they reversed it, where changed it where now she's singing to like Gamma herself. But now there's also like other people in the film. Now there's like other characters, like this one guy known as Christian, and he's played by Risto Athari, I think that's how you pronounce it, and he's like a cybersecurity expert. Now he's one of the main characters in the film, but I won't really touch on like his role too much. And also the people too as well, like you have Cole, who's like one of Gamma's co-workers, and you also have like the other chick, I forget her name. She's also like one of Gamma's like co-workers, like the lady, I forget her name. But we also have Jermaine Clement, that's my name, Jermaine. You also have him playing Alton, I think Appleton, and he's like a corrupt tech billionaire, you know, whose company has made like breakthrough in like the biometronics or whatever. So he's like in the film too as well. Like I said, he has the same name. It's even spelled the same as mine, Jermaine. I think that's pretty cool. I do still feel like this is a much I don't know what it is. It's like very steeped in like sci-fi this time. It really feels like just straight up science fiction. You wouldn't even knowing that this had like horror connections if you hadn't seen like the first Megan, like all like the robots, like the technology, like the computers, all that kind of stuff that's in it. It's like very like science fiction, and you know, like that's the kind of genre I prefer anyway. It doesn't feel like it's like a horror film at all, you know. It's like really like strongly science fiction, this particular film. But yeah, it's kind of sad that it didn't do too well at the box office from here, because I still thought it was pretty entertaining. So yeah, because I know they was also playing like a spin-off of this too, I think, known as Soulmate. This is probably getting like a spin-off film. If this has succeeded, they might still do that, but I'm not too sure what they're going to do. But overall, this particular film, I kind of want to give M3GAN a solid B, but once it got to like the third act, I must admit kind of like it was dragging, you know, like it was just kind of keeping it going. So I just go ahead and give it like a B-. And I would still recommend it for fans of like especially like science fiction type films, and it is like a strong connection to the original film, so I would recommend that you see like the first one if you haven't seen it. So I'm giving this a B-. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.